All right, hi everyone, and welcome to my second vlog. My name is Autumn. I am a mom of an autistic son, Liam, who is 15 years old, and he communicates through spelling. So he's typically considered non-verbal, or not non-verbal, non-speaking, and yet we discovered that that does not mean he does not have an intact cognitive brain intelligence, and just a body that doesn't always cooperate. So once I learned that Liam's challenge were more physical than cognitive, I changed the way I related with him. I changed the things that I offered him. I changed the way I coached him to be more of coaching his body than coaching his mental capacity. And I found a much happier, excited child that wanted to be with me, that wanted to learn, that wanted to grow. And I'm excited that I get to share my life and get to know my son when I know many people feel that that connection with their autistic loved one is lacking. And that is a bridge. That is a bridge that we can cross. That is possible now with communication modalities that help us who communicate differently. We are different. I am different from my son. So I need something, I need a bridge to connect me with him. So another bridge that we found has been art. So there's not only one bridge that can connect you to your child. Having a communication modality and successful fluent communication obviously connects you to their thoughts. But what about activities? What about shared interests? We were able to really delve into the world of art together because my son expressed that he really does like it even when his body resists it. This was important for me to know because when he was younger, I would just pay attention to his resistance and I'd say, oh, he doesn't like painting because I offered it and he got up and walked away. But that actually wasn't what was happening. It was new for his brain and he needed to regulate, and he couldn't visually take in all the colors and stimulation at times. And the walking away was a temporary kind of, I need a break. It wasn't I don't want to do this activity ever again. So be careful that you don't interpret your kids' body's cues as meaning they have absolutely no interest in art. Because I found out for myself and for many people, our kids really do want to explore art. But they also need our assistance because their motor skills are a little behind, let's say, a child that is regular, typical age. So a 15-year-old might be able to watch a tutorial on YouTube or take a little class and sit there and hear the instructions and just create something. But my son might need that assistance right there, saying, here's the next step. Okay, let's put this thing on. Grab that. Here's the glue. The little cues that help his body initiate the movements that don't always come naturally. So a lot of times if you watch my videos, my workshops, you'll see me prompting. I'm prompting his body to a skill until he gets that more consistently. And prompts can change from actually my hand on top of something for Liam, pointing to it, just verbally saying it, just saying, here's the color, grab some of that color. So anyways, you want to change up your prompts because you want the child's body to learn these skills and to really integrate them on their own. And it is possible. It all just takes more practice, right? Every time we are building neural connections, it takes lots of practice for that myelin sheath to form in the brain. So just know if you're on an art journey and it seems really difficult in the beginning and you're wondering, gosh, I don't know if my kid really likes this. Give it time. See small steps along the way. When Liam was first starting with art and I wanted to do more with him, and this was before he even had a communication modality, he loved rolling trains. So I took some washable paint and I had him roll the train through the paint and then on paper. And so I took something he was already interested in and I expanded it by adding the paint. So you can do that with your loved one. For instance, I know some of our kids love puzzling. Well, you can actually create a puzzle with a piece and the kids put it together, like cut out after you paint something. So there's that component of using something that your child's already interested in alongside with art, right? Just a little bit of an expansion. That way it doesn't shock the body. It's like, okay, this is a little familiar and I'm willing to engage and try and grow. So I want to show you something that I explored yesterday. I have not done this with Liam yet, but I want to show you what some of the modalities that help me, some of the tools. So I make templates. A template can be the actual object, like I print out butterflies and he decorates that butterfly. Either he doesn't have to stain the lines or I cut it already. And so there's no error. Just decorate that in however you want, with his brush stroke, with his dabs, with accent colors. I'll show you that example. So here's what we did. Butterflies. There was no right or wrong way to decorate them. So there was no pressure involved in the creation. When you remove, like going outside the lines, for instance, then you remove the pressure and the body can relax more. So I found that really successful with Liam. And then a template. So Liam has expressed he likes to make nature scenes. He likes to, attempt that, but it would be hard for his hand to, on his own, make like a mountain ridge. So I make a template of it, right? And then when we have this one on, he can sponge paint the entire bottom brown and not worry at all about going outside the lines. And then when it's time for the sky, we put this one on and we do the sky. So I actually did this one as an example because I like to do a practice one and show Liam, like, okay, here's what we could do. What color do you want the sky? What color do you want the mountains? We could have grassy mountains. Do you want the sun up here or do you want it lower? And then by asking him and including him in some of the decisions, I'm valuing his contribution. And it's making it his own, even though it has some structure to it. There's going to be a sky, there's going to be clouds, sun, and mountains. He gets to decide how they look or where they go. So that's one simple way you can help your child or loved one, is just having a plan, but having some flexibility and some choices that go along with it. And I have found that's usually the best kind of art for us, is when it has a structure and it has flexibility. Because if there's too much flexibility, we don't know what we're doing and it can be chaotic. If there's too much structure, it's not fun. It's like just someone says, here's this picture, make it exactly the same. It's like challenging your copying skills, right? You've got to challenge your creative skills too. So I laminated simple sheets to make templates. You can do that at home. I like to share tips, things that work for us. Some of our projects have several steps. And so in one sitting, we're not completing them. We're just doing, for instance, these are going to go on greeting cards. So Liam's going to decorate the sky background and maybe add some grass by practicing cutting and different things, or flowers. And it can happen over a few days. We do other things too. So we're not just always sitting around doing art, and his body needs a break. So don't feel that pressure that just because a typical person might sit down and finish something in an hour, your child does not have to. They can do 5 minutes here or there, especially starting out. Start out small. Have a successful 5 minutes, and then do a successful 5 minutes the next day. So I will be doing a 21-day challenge here in the month of July. And the point of that is to kind of jumpstart your imagination. Get your foot in the door. Start doing it yourself as a caregiver or loved one, because it's our creative juices that our kids really feed off of too. So we're not creating in a vacuum. It's not like they're just the artist and we're just the helper. We have to both become artists. We're awakening the artist in both of us. And that's like your inner child. I'm sure as an inner child or as a young child, you created. And maybe along the way, life got really serious. You had a lot of responsibilities. You might have stopped doodling, drawing, painting. We want to return to that passion, that joy, and we can bring that to our loved ones. So thank you for joining me for this vlog, and I'll see you on our channel, our YouTube channel, and I'll also see you on our Facebook group with the 21-day challenge, Create Anything, starting July 1st.